years of professional experience.
Are they all the same? Well, they better be.
Ask each to cook 3 courses.
Service, let's go.
Let's go.
And get them to score in secret. On today's show, curious chemistry.
We're bestest friends. Has there been an accidental, friends that have,
I got the sense that they had history.
Straight, yeah.
Kitchen friction.
You want to give you a hand?
You're up here doing absolutely nothing, right? Go downstairs, please.
Bless Lisa, she was hiding a million things on her shoulder.
And controversial custard.
It is a vegan custard.
But then it's not a custard.
Did you like it?
No.
Things were getting higher and higher and higher.
As they battle to bag a £1,000 prize.
It was cool for Halifax. Sorry, Halifax people.
Today's professional competition is in Yorkshire, where Wallace and Gromit raised the profile of Wensleydale cheese. And one couple hoping to be the greatest this week are tonight's hosts Ben and Joe, chef and manager of The Barn in Huddersfield, which serves an eclectic range of posh nosh.
Oi, private land here, mate. Do one.
That's a warm welcome.
The restaurant itself is very much Ben's personality. It's
Very
just
much
a bit
so,
like cheeky,
yeah.
on the cheeky side.
When it comes to the food's as serious as it can be. Sea bass steak, please, table 2.
We both cook. We both do front of house. Let's get quite warm.
Normally, in restaurants, front of house and kitchen,
Hate each other.
yeah, it's a scrap to the death. Out kitchen,
what's
out,
in there.
out.
You guys look pretty cosy, though. You an item?
No, we're not a couple. We're best friends. We've been mates for years. I think I've asked Joe to marry me twice on drunken nights. And hopefully if we win that money, I've said my half's going towards the wedding, yeah.
That's your future sorted. What's the plan for tonight?
Very much romantic food. I like to sense a bit of love on a plate.
Just got Barry White in my head then.
You got Barry White in your hair? Yeah.
First up, dessert. Mr. Jam Roly-Poly Man with custard anglaise.
A custard's a custard, and anglaise is something completely different, but anyway.
Did I miss something?
Oh, I can just see which way the night's going to go already.
Meet our next restaurateurs.
Least favourite job is polishing all these bowls.
I know.
Chef Brian and front of house Lisa, long-term partners and owners of street food bistro Disco Kitchen.
Disco Kitchen is an eclectic mix of different gastronomies from different
well.
locations in the world.
Brian, how long's this pizza going to be?
That'll be about a couple of minutes, Lisa.
I would definitely say that I'm Brian's long-suffering partner.
Right in the middle of the window.
No. Right, just no.
I am demanding. I am borderline obsessive. If I put it here...
That looks absolutely horrendous. We do argue because I've moved a chair or because I've moved a table or...
That matters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Been a while, hasn't it, since you ordered them?
And what's the winning philosophy?
Always make sure that you are the best that you can be today, because tomorrow's a dumb day.
Exhausting. It's exhausting. Being with him, being around him.
In the kitchen, the hosts are whipping up their fancy custard.
Vanilla pods are really expensive at the moment, aren't they?
They'll be selling on black market. Gives a fiver. Gives a fiver for your pods, love.
Yeah, all right. Whack 'em in the milk before anyone sees.
He heats through before straining into an egg yolk and sugar mix. Then returns to the hob.
Custard anglaise as well, not just custard. Fancy custard.
Meet our final professionals of the week, chef and owner Simon.
I know it needs to be another crumpet.
And his front of house manager Sakina,
Here we go.
who runs Scandi-inspired restaurant Fint.
We like a nice Nordic Scandinavian feel.
The food is a little bit fancy, and it's fancier than the norm. That short pan for you with banana.
Although we're not a vegan restaurant, the menu is always designed around the idea of making sure that people are able to come in and just order something without having to worry about if that dish is going to kill me.
Exactly.
Seems sensible. And I'm sensing a strictly working relationship here.
We're not a couple.
We're not a couple. We're not a couple. It's a working relationship. I mean, you are lovely, Simon.
So are you. If I was otherwise inclined, I wouldn't have a chance. I'm not pretty enough.
Don't be so hard on yourself. In the kitchen, the roly-poly's in full swing. Ben flattens his suet pastry before adding his key ingredient.
We're jamming. Hope you like jamming too.
Nice rolling. Bob Marley would be proud.
So wrap it in this so it steams it, keeps all the air inside, that keeps it nice and moist.
And it's into the oven.
£1,000, baby.
On to the main, rump steak with pepper sauce, Hasselback potatoes and carrots.
I would probably want to be asked how my steak cooked.
Well, my cuisson,
Pardon?
the way I prefer my piece of rump to be cooked.
Is what?
Cuisson. You see, the different variations of.
He's just showing off, isn't he? So, cooking steaks to order?
Tonight, I'm going to be really stubborn and I'm going to be telling them I'm cooking the steaks how I would like them to be cooked. I'm going to be cooking them pink. It'll be the best thing they've ever had.
If you say so, Ben sears the steaks before leaving to rest. He'll cook them in the oven before serving.
So when I kiss a woman, I like to kiss them low and slow. That's how we're going to cook our steaks tonight.
Right. On to the pepper sauce. To fried shallots and garlic, he adds white wine and cooking brandy.
Do you know what? I hope that peppercorn sauce is spicy enough.
It's certainly full of peppercorns.
We've got green peppercorns, very flavoursome. We've got your traditional black peppercorns, and we put some pink peppercorns in there. Tend to be more floral, but it's smelling beautiful. It's like that aftershave you buy in the pound shops.
Classy. To finish, plenty of cream and some gravy browning for colour. How's it taste?
Every time.
That worked.
Yeah.
Great. They'll serve with Hasselback potatoes and carrots later. Finally, the starter, king scallops with grumpy thermidor sauce.
Why grumpy? What's going to be grumpy about the thermidor sauce?
Over to you, Ben.
This is my famous thermidor sauce made with dill. Beautiful herb. However, it's a pain in the butt to prepare. And when I'm having to do stuff I don't want to do, I get grumpy.
Don't we all? He adds the chopped dill to fried shallots along with cooking brandy, wine and cream. A bit of mustard, more dill, and it's done.
Look at that. Thermidor sauce.
On to the scallops.
Love scallops, love thermidor sauce together. Yeah, sounds delicious.
Oh, fishmonger's arrived.
Morning, Ben, you all right?
What have you got for us today?
Large hand-dyed skin scallops.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's the winning dish right there. That scallop there alone's worth £1,000.
That'll be 50 grand then, please, Ben.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah, good luck.
Take care.
In the kitchen, they clean up their shellfish.
Looking at the size of these, we're probably going to serve one and then we're going to sell the rest of them on the black market to our chefs to make some more money.
They'll fry the scallops before serving, so for now, that's the food prep done.
Prep's gone really well. Can't wait to meet our guests. Let's get the show on the road, Joe.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Thoughts about the venue, guys?
Bit pubby.
Like a country gastropub.
It's not a pub.
It could be a pub.
It's not a pub.
I think it's a pub.
It's not. And after a quick change, they're ready to welcome their first guests. Chef Simon and front of house manager Sakina.
It's a bit weird.
Okay.
Hello.
How are you doing? You all right?
Hi, I'm Ben.
Oh, I'm Sakina. Pleasure
Sakina,
to meet
pleased
you.
to meet you too.
Joe.
Oh, sorry,
Lovely to
Simon.
meet you, Joe.
Simon, pleased to
Lovely
meet you.
I'm
Joanna.
Joe.
This is called a Breaking Blue.
Okay,
I've
cool.
always been about pink and blue in my colours, so
Yeah,
you've got it
alright.
there in addition.
Next in, Chef Brian and partner Lisa.
Looks lovely.
Not sure Brian agrees.
Hi. Hi, I'm Joe.
Oh, I'm Lisa.
Brian.
Oh, hi, Brian. I'm Ben.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you,
Nice
Ben.
to meet you too. Come on through. This is called a Breaking Blue.
So what's in it? Tequila?
So it's a mezcal tequila, very smoky. Yeah, and it's got blue Curaçao.
I'm sorry?
Is that how you pronounce it? Curaçao.
Curaçao, I call it Curaçao,
okay.
yeah.
It's a Curaçao.
Yeah. Now, we're not going to have a fight about Curaçao, now, are we? Really?
It's Curacao, isn't it, Lisa?
Cacao.
Oh, dear.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up, foodie footwear.
Would you not normally ask for the cooking of the meat?
If you order your steak more than medium well, I will bring in my trainer instead.
And noble name dropping.
I cooked dinner for Princess Diana, the Queen, and it just becomes white noise.
Ridiculous that he just did that.
Just Princess Di and the Queen.
He's got a little bit more ego and a bit more to prove.
Yorkshire,
Cheers.
where 3 restaurant owners are competing to throw the best dinner party. And tonight at the barn, Chef Ben and front of house Joe are hoping to impress their guests and bag the £1,000 prize. While Ben gets to work on the starter,
I've never seen scallop so big.
the others are taking their seats.
Very pink. Who's in charge of the decor?
So this is entirely Ben's personality.
Right.
His house is the same. Pink, purple are his favourite colours.
Lots of character,
Yeah.
lots of identity, lots of personality.
So these scallops are so huge. Are they just going to take a little bit longer than normal?
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, no problem.
He ladles out the thermidor sauce, then on go the scallops.
Be a let's be going.
Et voila! king scallops with grumpy thermidor sauce.
Why did you decide to put a thermidor sauce with a scallop?
I mean, everyone just cops out and does a spearmint puree. We thought we'd do something different here.
And the colours are really nice.
Exactly. And so for me, as you can see everywhere, it's all about colour.
As I've got further into the dish, I'm enjoying it more. Yeah, the flavours are really subtle.
Those scallops were incredible. Wherever they got those from were really lovely.
It was well done with skill, with love, and it was tasty.
Yeah, it was.
What's the grumpy bit then?
My ex busy cooking, so it's stuck with me.
So your nickname's Grumpy, but you're clearly not that grumpy. So what does make you grumpy?
Customers, I suppose, you know. We used to do a steak night on a Thursday night, so when you book a table for a steak night, I presume you're coming for a...
Steak!
Thank you. My kitchen's tiny, but it's really noisy, so when I'm shouting and effing and blinding, people can't hear me. They can't hear me out here. Joanna comes over and says, just letting you know, there's a vegan in. So I say, what vegan comes to a steak night? Not realising the music had stopped, the fan had gone off, and the whole restaurant was looking at me like that.
I'm sure he's normal, of a generation chef.
He's a
Gets
chef.
a bit hot-headed.
He's a chef.
So he's a chef then.
If you're all finished, we'll get all this cleared away and we'll get ready for the main course. First course down, and yeah, feeling great. Feeling really good.
On to the main.
Here's our beautiful steaks. I'm just going to finish them off now in a little bit more heat.
In go the steaks, and out come the Hasselback potatoes. He dishes out the pepper sauce with whole peppercorns. On go the greens, the carrots, and how's that steak looking?
Absolutely beautiful. They're going to love this, I know it. If they don't, they're in the taxi. Via, table 2, let's go!
And there it is, rump steak with pepper sauce, Hasselback potatoes and carrots.
It's so good.
Oh, bless you.
Would you not normally ask for the cooking of the meat?
I have a thing on my menu that says, if you order your steak more than medium well, I will bring you my trainer instead.
That's more of a chef's perspective rather than a front of house diner. So for me, I would love to have been asked, but on the receiving end, it's really nice.
That beef was astonishing.
The chef gave it to me how he thought it should be done. There's a confidence in that.
The jus is slightly too reduced for me, and I would have blitzed the peppercorns down into a pulse.
Oh, really?
The pepper sauce, there were so many peppercorns in it.
Actual peppercorns.
Actual peppercorns that got stuck in my throat.
With mixed reviews on the main, Simon wants to find out about the host's relationship.
So what is this? Are you together? Because
We're bestest friends.
bestest friends. Oh, nice.
I love Fint.
I love Joe.
So how long have you known each other?
Years.
Has there been an accidental or, you know, friends that have...
They have. You've obviously forgotten about it.
I have a very good
It
memory.
was a cold, dark night.
Yeah, they've obviously got undeniable chemistry.
Yeah, I got the sense that they had history.
Straight, yeah.
Yeah, let's move on.
We don't really know much about you guys. Can we presume you're husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend?
We just work together. I'm Simon's front of house
Okay,
manager.
so you're front of house.
He's the owner of the
Okay.
business and executive chef, as it were.
I thought she was the boss. I thought she owned the
Yeah.
business, Simon was the head chef, and it was really that demographic.
I think he means dynamic.
So, not husband and wife.
We've been together forever.
Yeah, well, we met when we were 17.
Do you get the chance to get any time apart from each other? Because if you're working and living together,
It more than has its challenges. You know, I am exacting. I'm borderline obsessed about standards.
And to live 24/7 and work 24/7. You know, I don't think I could handle you 24/7, Joe. 2 days a week's enough for me.
I worked high-end restaurants, cooked dinner for Princess Diana, for Bill Clinton, the Queen. I used to be Simon Cowell's personal chef, blah, 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 and it just becomes white noise.
I mean, that was ridiculous that he just did
it
that.
was just Princess Di and the Queen.
Simon Cowell's private chef, but none of that matters because white noise. I've met a million Brians before. He's got a little bit more ego and a bit more to prove.
2 winning courses down. Job's a good one. We've got it in the bag.
It's not one yet. You've still got dessert to go. He dishes out a small puddle of custard onto a plate. On goes the roly-poly and, jam from a jar.
Via, let's have it.
And dessert is good to go. It's Mr. Jam Roly-Poly Man with custard.
The thing about Jam Roly-Poly Man, and sometimes I do little late-night drop-offs for certain ladies that would ring up wanting an after-hours, or if you wanted a late-night roll, here's your...
Here's your really pearly now.
Yeah.
It's a pretty niche service.
When I read it, I thought it was going to be soggy jam, stodgy, and it's not, and it's crispy.
And lovely.
Have you made your own raspberry jam?
I didn't want to stress myself out. It's a French one.
Yeah, I know it.
So you know
exactly.
what I mean, yeah.
I loved how spirally it was, and it was crispy. So made through.
But that jam almost was the best bit, and the fact that I know he didn't make the jam is a little bit annoying.
It absolutely, for me, needs to be just drowned in custard.
I think he's tried to refine the plate a little bit.
Want some more custard, eh? There you go.
Scores out of 20, please.
Amazing food.
Amazing food, amazing ingredients.
I would come back.
They made us so welcome.
We've had a great time. Food's been delicious. There's been a few little things, but on the whole, I'd say
we'll go a nice
solid
squad 16.
16.
But it wasn't perfect. So for us, it's going to be a 15.
So the barn has laid down the gauntlet with 31 points. It's the second day of the professionals competition and we're in Halifax with Brian and Lisa from Disco Kitchen.
Tonight we're going to be serving fun, fresh and tasty food. It's more street food-esque. It's more relaxed. Welcome to the disco.
Thanks very much. What's everyone expecting?
It could be a country pub somewhere.
No.
It could be a trendy little bistro somewhere.
No.
It could be, a street food place with loads of crazy music.
Wow, spot on.
I think it's going to be a bit of a curveball. I think it's going to be like weird food.
Weird like a runny hen's egg on a wild garlic velouté. That's a thick soup to you and me.
It's the time of year, for the next month or so, everyone's going to go wild garlic crazy.
I know I am, and so's Brian.
The smells around here are incredible.
If you like garlic. Right, enough of that.
And listen, you don't see velouté on many menus at all these days. So, yeah, that's definitely his classic point coming through.
Back at the stove, the wild garlic goes in the pot before Brian makes a start on the roux for his velouté.
Salted butter into a warm pan. Always using a wooden spoon.
Oh, why's that?
Why? I don't know why.
Right then. To the melted butter, he adds flour.
Just going to cook that out for another minute or so.
Before adding stock, double cream, then blitzing in the wild garlic. And onto the eggs.
Pressure's on for a soft, runny boiled egg.
Yeah, they're not easy to do.
Yeah.
Deep pan, so the eggs got lots of room to breathe.
Bit hard to breathe in boiling water. They're cooled, peeled, and wrapped in sausage meat. So, in fact, they're Scotch eggs.
This process is called panning. I probably get beaten up for that pronunciation, but I'm a northern.
Pané is a French culinary term for dipping in flour, egg and breadcrumbs. He'll deep fry them before serving. They're also adding a parmesan tuile, and Lisa's braving the kitchen for the first time.
Done, chef?
Thank you very much.
Is that okay? Is that to your standards?
Well done, no, great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, please.
Yes, chef.
Have you finished yet, Liz?
Yeah, I think so.
Are they all the same? Well, they better be.
The one on the end's a bit small.
Well, that's got half the amount to that, and to that, so...
Well,
no, let's just... I'll bake them and we'll see.
Once baked, they'll be served on top of the egg. So it's on to the main. Burger on the dance floor. Garlic bread burrito, poutine, and Steve Jobs slaw.
A lot can go wrong with a burger.
Oh, yeah.
Is he going to mince his own? Is he going to make his own patty? Has he bought it in?
They look bought in for sure.
We're going to be creating the miniature burger.
So you need to turn big patties into little patties.
Pulling it and squeezing it in.
Pulling it and squeezing it.
Inwards, yeah.
Pull it and squeeze.
Pull and squeeze.
Yeah, pull and squeeze.
Oh, the old pull and squeeze. I love that dance move.
Now we'll put them back in the fridge and let them relax. And then 10 minutes before we're going to...
Relax in the fridge?
Relax, yeah.
Nothing more relaxing than being in the fridge, believe me.
Are you sure you know what you're doing?
I've forgotten more than you know.
Charming. He'll cook the burgers later, so it's on to the Steve Jobs slaw.
Maybe Steve's the pot wash guy, and that's his job, chopping slaw. Yeah.
Maybe.
Not sure about that.
You okay?
Yeah.
You're doing a good job, actually.
Doing a good job. I have chopped an onion before.
Brian chops some cabbage and combines with the onion.
Bit of Steve Jobs slaw. I'm guessing that's apple coleslaw.
Oh, because it's apple course. It's that guy. I just got that now.
Apple.
To be honest, I've only just got that as well. In goes applesauce, mustard, horseradish, raisins and parsley.
Right, so we leave it.
They'll dress the coleslaw later and knock up the burrito and poutine before serving. On to dessert, chocolate and Seville orange torte with candied zest.
Classic,
yeah.
again, very French.
He starts by rolling out his pre-made short crust.
I'm hoping that all the way through it is exactly the same thickness of pastry.
Hope so too. It goes into blind bake.
You know, you don't want it to be too hard, but you don't want it to be too soft.
Soggy, do you?
What's the verdict?
Yeah, very happy with that.
To cream, butter and chocolate, he adds orange liqueur before heating in a bain-marie.
Have a whiff for that. Doesn't that smell good?
Smells great. It goes onto the pastry and is left to set. He'll serve with creme fraiche and candied zest later. So for now, that's the food prep done.
As an entire meal, I just don't know how these things go together.
They don't.
It's soup, burger and a tart.
Calling a tart.
Never called you a tart, though.
The final table touch-up, and they're ready to welcome their first guests. Last night's hosts, Ben and Joe.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you?
Yeah. Nice to see you. Do you think you've got enough balls?
I think you can never have enough balls, can you? Really? Yeah.
Room for more.
Yeah.
Bit of a fun vibe and
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally,
Yeah.
there's
totally
no
understand
rules
that.
here apart from be respectful.
Well, that's one rule.
Hi.
And here are Simon and Sakina.
And you. Welcome to Disco Kitchen, and here's to a great night.
Cheers.
Coming up, green-eyed girlfriends.
I've thrown a few pints over his head on the Coliseum dance floor. There might be a few more tonight after today.
And indecent proposals.
I would like to ask you, would you make me the honour of being my #1? Yeah.
Yorkshire,
Cheers.
where long-term partners Brian and Lisa are hosting two other duos at their restaurant, Disco Kitchen. Upstairs, Brian's deep-frying his Scotch eggs.
How long is it going to be?
As long as it takes.
As long as it takes. There you go.
Elise, can you just wipe any dirty finger marks off these bowls?
Yes, chef.
Good job, Lisa. Downstairs, the others are checking out the venue.
I can see Brian gets behind here on his decks.
Giving it.
Giving it some of that, yeah.
When I turned up, it wasn't the restaurant I expected. It was cool for Halifax, I think.
What are you saying?
Sorry, Halifax people.
Beautiful, love it. Absolutely love it.
It was really nice.
Back in the kitchen, let's have a look at those eggs.
This is make or break. It's a soft, runny, boiled egg. And if it's not, I mean the doo-doo. I'm happy with that.
They go in with the velouté and are topped with a Parmesan crisp.
I've just realised I haven't put soup spoons out.
Have you done it now?
Shall I run down and do it?
Of course, yeah.
Sorry.
You can't serve the food before they cook it.
Yes, chef. And there it is, a hen's egg with wild garlic velouté.
Scotch egg chef.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Honest feedback to myself is most welcome.
Righto.
It's super delicious and not what I expected as a velouté.
It's absolutely beautiful. As a starter, I just found it a bit big. From the menu description, that is not what I was expecting.
I thought it was really tasty. I really enjoyed it, yeah.
Beautiful. Fabulous colours, flavours, but it was very filling for a start.
And those Parmesan crisps, they're so lovely.
Did you actually use the Parmesan crisp that I did?
No, you made them. Lisa's not normally
It's not
involved
my
at
habitat
all.
at all. I didn't even know where to stand. I was so awkward. I felt really awkward. I didn't know where to stand because it's his domain.
And has he been bossing you around?
You know what? He's been really, really nice today. Like, yeah.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Well done.
Do you want some water? Sorry to interrupt. Yeah. I'll get some
I'll get
lemon water.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't last long.
What's that? We're talking about you.
No, I'm not listening.
I think the impression I got tonight, it was quite a stressful service.
There's just so much passion and so much desire to get it right that it just throws you completely awry.
Moving on.
So why is it called Disco Kitchen?
The discotheque was one of the first environments where different classes of people, different cultures of people rub shoulders with one another. So the word disco to me means eclectic mix of something. Gastronomy is from different parts of the globe. Yeah. So that was the interpretation.
So yeah, it's something that doesn't make sense, but if it makes sense to you, Brian, that's fine.
Disco Kitchen, to me, should have roller girl, be scooting around the place and having a little bit of...
They could do some great roller girl things here, couldn't they? Yeah.
I thought it was well received. Did anybody dislike it? No. So that's, in my opinion, Law of averages suggested it was a winner.
On to the main, and there's plenty to do.
So we're serving a selection of some of our best sellers, basically.
He starts with his garlic bread burrito before moving on to his poutine.
Traditionally, in Canadian poutine, you would have curds. But this is fleur de latte, which is a bit of a posh mozzarella, really.
Next up, his teeny tiny burgers.
I'm getting confused with all these buns, everyone.
Pardon?
Nothing.
You want to give you a hand or not?
I'm conscious of our guests. You're up here doing absolutely nothing, right? Go downstairs, please. And just to run the service.
Oh, yeah, all right, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, Brian, keep your ear on.
Yeah, I think he's best left by himself.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
That's all right.
he's having a little moment, yeah.
But bless Lisa, she had a smile that was hiding a million things on her shoulder.
Now on his own, Brian puts the finishing touches to his burgers. Mmm, cheesy. Before dressing his apple coleslaw, and it all gets served up on, an old record.
It's a bit of theatre, it's a bit of fun, and I'm hoping that they get it.
We'll soon find out. There it is, burger on the dance floor, garlic bread burrito, poutine and apple slaw.
I don't want to eat it. It just looks too good, too pretty.
Eating off the record, it's freaking me out because as a child, you always got told, don't scratch the record.
For me, I can see there's so many different elements in here. And
My question, sorry to interrupt, my question to you is,
In your own time, fella.
does that work?
how do you feel? I feel that's great.
I'm sat down in my dining room for the first ever time.
Yeah.
And I've eaten the burrito and I don't like it.
I think I may have misheard that.
I don't like it. It's probably the worst thing on the plate.
Let's open the floodgates.
That weird garlic bread
Even chef
burrito.
wasn't happy with it.
Yeah,
I said, well, why have you served it?
He didn't taste it, did he?
There's a lot happening on there, lots of flavours. My mouth didn't know what's coming and going. Too busy.
Yeah, too complicated.
Your Canadian little dish here. You don't see it.
It's delicious, but it's not curd and chips. It's
Yeah, good point.
yeah. Just call it cheesy, lovely gravy chips.
He's essentially selling cheesy chips with gravy as poutine, and it's not. It's cheesy chips with gravy. Just say what it is.
With the main course causing confusion, Ben wants to find out more about the host relationship.
Under pressure as a couple, how do you cope with things?
I've learnt to not take it personally when he's, on one.
Kicking off.
Have you considered swapping roles?
No, I wouldn't want to.
That would help you so much.
There was an incident on Saturday evening. We were at it.
I'm sorry.
No, I don't mean
Easy now, chef.
The only thing they're going to do by swapping roles is benefit from it. They will understand how each other works. It should be that in any business.
On to dessert then, and Brian's dividing up his chocolate tort.
What's the matter?
One side of the tart is about 3 mil, and this side is
4 mil. Nobody's going to know.
I know.
I know.
And now I know. On goes a blob of creme fraiche and candied orange.
Are we going?
Yes,
Yeah.
Easy.
I'm doing it easy.
And there we have it, chocolate and Seville orange tort.
When I saw that, it was a piece of art.
Oh, Ben, that's
Absolutely
lovely.
beautiful. Give up. You get me waffling in a minute.
It's really delicious, chef. It's immense. It's really immense.
Super balanced. It was really well made. The candied oranges were delicious.
It was like we're in a different restaurant.
Different
it's
restaurant.
like we're in France, and we're waiting for a little espresso to come with a glass of water.
Well, Alpha
Amazing. I think our host must have some disco stories. You've named your empire from it.
I've thrown a few pints over his head on the Coliseum dance floor.
Yeah.
When we were like 18, 19, yeah.
When you're courting.
It was a bit of a one with the women.
Was he?
In my mind, we'd officially finished. Because I was talking to another female.
Got a few pints thrown over his head, yeah. There might be a few more after today, but.
Look at your curly whirly hair.
It's like someone out on the Mondays, isn't it? Yeah.
That's Alan Davis, isn't it? Scores, please.
I had a great night tonight. For me, unfortunately, the food just didn't quite meet my expectations.
Because Brian was clearly so in the moment, I think it impacted them both and the night.
Yeah. For me, it didn't flow very well, wasn't consistent.
For that reason, we're going to give them 13.
They're lovely, lovely people, but the food just didn't quite hit the mark. So for that reason, I think we've agreed.
Gonna
we're
give
gonna
it
give it
12.
Oh dear. So Disco Kitchen are bringing up the rear in last place with 25 points. It's the final day of the professionals competition in Yorkshire and the turn of Simon and Sakina to host at their Scandi-inspired restaurant Fint in Leeds. How are you feeling about tonight?
I'm quietly confident that we'll do really well.
I'm probably not as quiet, but I'm confident.
Going on the first night and then after our night has finished, I'm slightly worried.
Personally, I think we're in the lead, and I think our night was better than last night.
Yeah.
You are in the lead, but it's all to play for. The hosts are kicking off their night with sweet potato and lentil soup with Borodinsky bread.
You love soup as a starter.
I think soup is the greatest invention to mankind.
Like soup as a starter.
Come on, Sakina, give us the hard sell.
Tastes like a version of curry sauce, which you'd get maybe at the fish and chip shop.
Thanks for that. Sakina's normally front of house, but today she's helping in the kitchen.
So we've got our own curry spice, caraway seeds, pink peppercorns, and fenugreek, ginger.
In go lentils and green chilies.
It's a soup at the end of the day.
One you have to have on the menu to keep Grandma happy in the corner.
And, do you know what? Look at that.
Look at that.
The sweet potato is sliced and added to the mix with veg stock.
Well,
Smelling delicious.
Once boiled, it's into blitz.
that's it then. Simple. Done.
It'll be served later with his sexy bread. It's on to the main. Sweet and sour dill lamb shank, roasted celeriac, broncal and cavolo nero and pumpkin seed cream.
That to me sounds
Massive.
Scandinavian.
I don't know what he's trying to do there.
It's not like a Chinese sweet and sour, but this Swedish version, you're getting the sweetness just from the lamb itself.
For the lamb base, they add mixed vegetables to a pot with seasoning, and in go the shanks.
We're using utica.
I'm sorry?
It's acetic acid. If you went into a chippy, this is what they've got on the counter, but they've put some caramel colouring into it, so it looks like malt vinegar.
Interesting.
Potent, isn't it?
Yeah, it's potent.
A splash of water and it's onto the heat.
The presentation, I know, will be
Key.
small, very, very precise.
You say that, how do you make a lamb shank
Yeah.
small?
Looks like he's pulling the meat from the bone.
We're gonna have to take off some of the skin and bristly bits, so it's a bit nicer to eat.
Onto the broncal.
Broncal, have you heard of that?
I have, but I don't know what it is.
Helpful. Simon?
Strictly speaking, just means brown cabbage, but it's much nicer than the name suggests.
First job, slicing cabbage. Come on, put your back into it, Sakina.
Give it a bit of heft, girl.
I can't do it.
It's like you just put cabbage in a pan before.
In go mixed spices and a caramelised vegan butter. And it's on to simmer. Next, the cavolo nero and pumpkin seed cream.
There's flavours that are going to be fighting.
There's a lot of
So
fighting.
there's a scrap. There's a scrap
going on
right
that
there in
plate.
that dish.
The cavolo nero is boiled before it's dunked into ice.
It's like Scandinavian cabbage. Go from your sauna, jump into the frozen lake.
Yeah, I can see it now. A quick squeeze and it's into the blender with herbs, pumpkin seeds and olive oil.
Good-o.
He whacks a whole celeriac into roast, then it's time for dessert. Rhubarb and apricot crumble with sunflower seed custard.
Rhubarb, brilliant. There should be lots of flavour, lots of colour in there.
Sakina precisely slices the rhubarb.
Exact 5 centimetre.
It's onto a bed of tarragon and smothered in an orange syrup.
What's not to love?
What is not to love?
What's not to love?
Then it's into roast.
Custard again. That was Monday nights.
Yeah, Battle of the Custards.
Yeah, ours is very different, so I'm glad we're not replicating anything that's been done already.
Well, you don't often see seeds and oat milk in custard.
So we've got a vegan custard because we like our menu to be accessible.
In go sugar and vanilla syrup. Funky chicken. Very nice.
Sunflower seed custard, so will we be picking seeds out of our teeth when we're chomping away?
Hopefully not, as it's all blended and sieved.
Happy with that, Chef?
Absolutely. Winning custard.
They'll add the shortbread oat and seed crumble before serving, so for now, that's the prep done.
I think we're going to smash it out of the park.
I think we are. It's going to be great. Come on, let's get ready.
Not in a million years would I have put that with them two.
I would.
Really?
Yeah, I would.
We're so not worried about this menu, are we, Joe?
No.
And after a quick change, they rustle up a cocktail and are ready to welcome their first guests.
Here we go.
It's current leaders Ben and Joe from the barn.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Chef, how are you? Nice to see you.
And what do you think of the place?
Yeah, beautiful,
Beautiful
yeah.
place, yeah.
Typical nice, cute little Leeds, you know, spot on.
Next up, last night's hosts, Brian and Lisa from Disco Kitchen.
Come on in, nice to see you. Are you all right?
Glamorous as ever.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
It's Scandinavian, minimalistic. Yeah. Yeah.
Coming up, fashion feuds.
Too stylish for me. I didn't like that. You were going to show me up. I don't like anybody else's in the room who's more cool than me.
What a ridiculous thing to say.
And someone collects the cash.
In second place, we have
Nationals competition in Yorkshire,
Cheers.
where Chef Simon and front of house Sakina are hosting a night out at their Scandi-inspired restaurant, Fint. In the kitchen, they're dishing out the soup, salting the butter and slicing the rye bread.
Oh, it's a right wedge, that.
I got a bit chunky.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, let's get them up to our guests then.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you, Chef.
And there it is, sweet potato and lentil soup with Borodinsky bread and butter.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
So Borodinsky bread is just a dark rye bread with coriander seeds and some other spices.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's lovely.
For me, just slightly a little bit more sort of seasoned.
Sometimes I've tried to err a bit more cautiously, but I should have remembered my crowd.
A soup as a starter, it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I want a treat. It was tasty, but again, it was a soup, but it was tasty.
I loved it. I thought it was so tasty.
For me, massively under-seasoned.
With the soup a bit hit and miss, talk turns to decor.
As soon as I walked through that door, I felt at ease. Yeah. The colour palette,
It is very
it's
soft.
warming.
So different to ours, but I love it.
It was my other half who's got the eye. He's designed all this.
Is your other half Swedish?
He's half Norwegian.
It's smart.
Smart.
It's lovely. It's a very welcoming environment.
So, Ben, if you weren't in this industry, what would you do?
I think it would obviously have to be a male swimwear model.
My dream job would be professional wine taster.
The more you try, the better you are, right?
Yeah, look for that, yeah.
Get your nose right in. Get the aroma. What you find in there?
Oh, what are we getting? Let me guess. Grapes.
Blackcurrant. I was going to say blackcurrant. Yes.
Any other budding sommeliers in the house?
Yeah, it's fruity.
Yeah, it's soft and fruity.
Do you know what? It's giving me quite a lot of tannin.
Is it?
Yeah.
Ah, that shouldn't do. It's definitely not the wine.
That is it.
It's definitely not the wine that's giving you the tannin.
If I'm, as a customer, saying it's my experience having tannin, then she told me it's not. And I thought that was massively peculiar.
So we're one course down. The next course is going to be
confident,
is a little bit different again, and you know, I'm sure they'll love it.
Time for the main. Simon starts by slicing up his root veg.
Celeriac is a really ugly veg. It does look like a bit of a brain.
Mmm, fried brain. Next is sauce. To reduce stock, he adds cream and dill.
Dill and lamb goes amazingly well. It's a very Nordic thing to do.
It's added to the lamb shank.
Appy.
Then it all goes on the plate with a large spoonful of the herby Cavallonero puree.
All right, service. Let's go.
Let's go.
Sweet and sour dill lamb shank with roasted celeriac, brunkel, and a Cavallonero and pumpkin seed cream.
The aroma around this table right now is just divine.
So this is brunkel.
Yes. Yeah.
A Swedish version, whack it together of bubble and squeak, Chef, would you say?
Absolutely.
Beautiful braised lamb.
Thank you.
The celeriac triumph. My only comment, the Cavallonero puree was quite claggy.
Everything on that dish I enjoyed.
Overwhelming factor for me was like I didn't understand that puree that superseded every other flavour.
I didn't get sweet and sour.
With this Swedish sweet and sour, you don't add any sugar. All the sweetness is coming. It's just what's in the lamb. It's not a sweet and sour.
So when you read it,
yeah,
it's not like a Chinese sweet and sour.
I didn't get any sweet or sour flavours. I got the dill. I don't really place dill with lamb.
With the main falling a little short, the group discusses first impressions.
When I first met you, not a couple. Then a moment later, they are a couple. Then they're not a couple. You clearly got such the most beautiful, lovely relationship where you clearly support each other.
Joe and Ben, they're lovely people, and I'm really glad that I've met them.
Too stylish for me. I didn't like that. You were going to show me up.
Stylish?
Too stylish.
I don't like anybody else who's in the room who's more cool than me.
Anyone who thinks they're cool is not cool. What a ridiculous thing to say.
The first night,
We could
the
see you
Sweeney.
so in love, yeah.
Oh, it was
That
really
was
cute.
beautiful.
That was nice. Yeah.
Whether 10 years' time, yeah, that's a different story, you know what I mean?
Living with someone that you work with must be really tough. It's a love and hate relationship.
But I bet they work really good together. Cheers!
Cheers. Cheers for getting through it.
On to dessert, and Simon reheats his rhubarb.
So these are dried apricots that we've pickled off.
In they go, and it's time for that slightly unusual custard.
It's not what you expect from a custard because it's not double cream and eggs.
A sprinkle of crumble mix, and it's done.
Do you know what? I'm very happy with these today.
Wonderful! It's rhubarb and apricot crumble with sunflower seed custard. Go on, have a sniff. Brian. Oh, he's back.
The rhubarb was amazing. It was super sweet, it was super tangy, it was super acidic.
For me, it didn't work.
That's all right.
It reminds me of something that I would eat when I'm going to the gym.
It was like a smoothie that had been
It was like
heated up with loads of nuts thrown on
something
it.
that I would eat in the morning that I don't really like.
I'd like to know how have you made a custard?
It is a vegan custard, so I can't use eggs, I can't use cream.
But then it's not a custard.
Okay.
A vegan sausage roll is not a sausage roll, and that's my point. I feel very strongly about this.
I've called it a custard because what else would I call it?
That is not a custard to me. I'm sorry.
Okay. So, as a sauce for a dessert, did you like it?
No.
Okay.
It was a grey, claggy, underwhelming, don't know what. Then you challenged me last night about the poutine.
But poutine is such a specific thing.
But it's not a registered trademark as a
But
heritage.
neither is custard.
Neither is custard.
I'll call it a vegan sauce.
Just for you.
Have an option.
Crumbling vegan sauce on top. And everyone's like, why don't you just call it custard? Because Brian said not to call it custard.
Fair comment. Fair
I
comment.
serve what I want to serve and how I serve it.
Yeah.
Fair comment. Do what you do.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely. We don't
what you
do.
Do what you do.
Phew, that's a bit awkward.
Yeah, Brian was a little bit annoying, but I don't really care what Brian says, if I was honest.
Things were getting higher and higher and higher, and it was putting a little tinge on the evening because we were all having a good time. It was getting a bit too much for a bit of custard, really.
It's a fair point. Hello, what's going on here?
I would like to ask you, Joe, would you make me the honour of being my #1 best female friend with possible benefits?
No possible benefits. It's a wrong finger.
Exactly! Is that a yes?
Yeah.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh, I think it's a no.
Yeah! I always carry a spare one. This one's flashing as well. Joe, you had it all.
Oh, Brian, someone's finally made an honest woman out of
If
me.
that makes you happy, darling, carry on.
Yeah, crack on.
We've done enough to be
Not
not third.
Scores, please.
I enjoyed it a little bit more than you.
But equally, I thought it was a very strong night.
Yeah, it was.
So we're going to give it 16.
Tonight we're going to score Simon and Sakina.
Whoa there! They need another 16 from Ben and Joe to win outright.
In third place, we have Brian and Lisa with Disco Kitchen. In second place, we have Simon and Sakina at fifth.
Which means the winner is...
Ben and Joe gave Simon and Sakina 13, meaning the barn are the winners.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't, and we've made some good friends.
Brian?
Disappointed.
Yeah.
Hey! Forza!
Very worthy winners. They've been smashing it all week. Just looking forward to having a night where I'm not having a 3-course meal.
I'm going to cry now.
You big soft lemon.
No.
That's why I have to be there to man you up.
All right, what do you have to, we were doing so bloody well, for God's sake.
dark rye bread with coriander seeds and some other spices.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's lovely.
For me, just slightly a little bit more sort of seasoned.
Sometimes I've tried to err a bit more cautiously, but I should have remembered my crowd.
A soup as a starter, it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I want a treat. It was tasty, but again, it was a soup, but it was tasty.
I loved it. I thought it was so tasty.
For me, massively under-seasoned.
With the soup a bit hit and miss, talk turns to decor.
As soon as I walked through that door, I felt at ease. Yeah. The colour palette,
It's very
it's
soft.
warming.
So different to ours, but I love it.
It was my other half who's got the eye. He's designed all this.
Is your other half Swedish?
He's half Norwegian.
It's smart.
Smart.
It's lovely. It's a very welcoming
Very.
environment.
So, Ben, if you weren't in this industry, what would you do?
I think it would obviously have to be a male swimwear model.
My dream job would be professional wine taster.
The more you try, the better you are at
Yeah,
it.
look for that, yeah.
Get your nose right in. Get the aroma. What you find in there?
Oh, what are we getting? Let me guess. Grapes.
Black currant. I was going to say black currant. Yeah.
Any other budding sommeliers in the house?
Yeah, it's fruity.
Yeah, it's soft and fruity.
Do you know what? It's giving me quite a lot of tannin.
Is it?
Yeah.
Ah, that shouldn't do. It's definitely not the wine.
That is it.
It's definitely not the wine that's giving you the tannin.
If I'm, as a customer, saying it's my experience having tannin, then she told me it's not. I thought that was massively peculiar.
So we're one course down. The next course is going to be
confident,
is a little bit different again, and you know, I'm sure they'll love it.
Time for the main. Simon starts by slicing up his root veg.
Celeriac is a really ugly veg. It does look like a bit of a brain.
Fried brain. Next is sauce. To reduce stock, he adds cream and dill.
Dill and lamb goes amazingly well. It's a very Nordic thing to do.
It's added to the lamb shank.
Happy.
Then it all goes on the plate with a large spoonful of the herby Cavallonero puree.
All right, service. Let's go.
Let's go.
Sweet and sour dill lamb shank with roasted celeriac, broncal, and a Cavallonero and pumpkin seed cream.
The aroma around this table right now is just divine.
So this is Bruncal.
Yes. Yeah.
A Swedish version, whack it together of bubble and squeak, chef, would you say?
Absolutely.
Beautiful braised lamb.
Thank you.
The celeriac triumph. My only comment, the Cavallonero puree was quite claggy.
Everything on that dish I enjoyed.
Overwhelming factor for me was like I didn't understand that puree that superseded every other flavour.
I didn't get sweet and sour.
With this Swedish sweet and sour, you don't add any sugar. All the sweetness is coming. It's just what's in the lamb. It's not a sweet and sour.
So when you read it,
yeah,
it's not a Chinese sweet and sour.
I didn't get any sweet or sour flavours. I got the dill. I don't really place dill with lamb.
With the main falling a little short, the group discusses first impressions.
When I first met you, not a couple. Then a moment later, they are a couple. Then they're not a couple. You clearly got such the most beautiful, lovely relationship where you clearly support each other.
Joe and Ben, they're lovely people, and I'm really glad that I've met them.
Too stylish for me. I didn't like that. You were going to show me up.
Stylish. Too stylish.
I don't like anybody else who's in the room who's more cool than me.
Anyone who thinks they're cool is not cool. What a ridiculous thing to say.
The first night,
We could
the
see you
Sweeney.
so in love, yeah.
Oh, it was really cute. That was nice. Yeah.
Whether 10 years' time, yeah, that's a different story, you know what I mean?
Living with someone that you work with must be really tough. It's a love and hate relationship.
But I bet they work really good together. Cheers!
Cheers for getting through it.
On to dessert, and Simon reheats his rhubarb.
So these are dried apricots that we've pickled off.
In they go, and it's time for that slightly unusual custard.
It's not what you expect from a custard because it's not double cream and eggs.
A sprinkle of crumble mix, and it's done.
Do you know what? I'm very happy with these today.
Wonderful! It's rhubarb and apricot crumble with sunflower seed custard. Go on, have a sniff. Brian. Oh, he's back.
The rhubarb was amazing. It was super sweet, it was super tangy, it was super acidic.
For me, didn't work.
That's all right.
It reminds me of something that I would eat when I'm going to the gym.
It was like a smoothie that had been heated up with loads of nuts thrown on it.
That I would eat in the morning that I don't really like.
I'd like to know how have you made custard?
It is a vegan custard, so I can't use eggs, I can't use cream.
Then it's not a custard.
Okay.
A vegan sausage roll is not a sausage roll, and that's my point. I feel very strongly about this.
I've called it a custard because what else would I call it?
That is not a custard to me. I'm sorry.
Okay. So, as a sauce for a dessert, did you like it?
No.
Okay.
It was a grey, claggy, underwhelming, don't know what. Then you challenged me last night about the poutine.
Yeah, but poutine is such a specific thing.
But it's not a registered trademark as a heritage.
Neither is custard.
Neither is custard.
I'll call it a vegan sauce.
Just for you.
Have an option.
Crumbling vegan sauce on top. And everyone's like, why don't you just call it custard? Because Brian said not to call it custard.
Fair comment, fair comment.
I serve what I want to serve and how I serve it.
Yeah.
Fair comment, do what you do.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. We don't do.
Do what you do.
Phew, that's a bit awkward.
Yeah, Brian was a little bit annoying, but I don't really care what Brian says, if I was honest.
Things were getting higher and higher and higher, and it was putting a little tinge on the evening because we were all having a good time. It was getting a bit too much for a bit of custard, really.
It's a fair point. Hello, what's going on here?
I would like to ask you, Joe, would you make me the honour of being my #1 best female friend with possible benefits?
No possible benefits.
It's a wrong finger!
Exactly! Is that a yes?
Yeah.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh, I think it's a no.
Yeah, I always carry a spare. This one's flashing as well. Joe, you had it all.
Brian, someone's finally made an honest woman out of
If
me.
that makes you happy, darling, carry on.
Yeah, crack on.
We've done enough to be
Not
near not third.
Scores, please.
I enjoyed it a little bit more than you.
But equally, I thought it was a very strong night.
Yeah, it was.
So we're going to give it 16.
Tonight we're going to score Simon and Sakina.
Whoa there! They need another 16 from Ben and Joe to win outright.
In third place, we have Brian and Lisa with Disco Kitchen. Oh, well done, guys. In second place, we have Simon and Sakina at fifth.
Which means the winner is...
Ben and Joe gave Simon and Sakina 13, meaning the barn are the winners.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't, and we've made some good friends.
Brian?
Disappointed.
Yeah.
Hey! Forza, forza, forza!
Very worthy winners. They've been smashing it all week. Just looking forward to having a night where I'm not having a 3-course meal.
I'm gonna cry now.
You big soft lemon.
No.
That's why I have to be there to man you up.
All right, what do you have to... We were doing so bloody well, for God's sake.